Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to S&E Ant's YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to go over the new nest I got from Tar Heel Ants. I'm going to show you the setup about how we're going to end up moving all of this into this one nest. And we're going to kind of go over this particular nest. This is actually a special nest that I got made for me. So stay tuned and we'll jump into the entire video after the intro. Alright, welcome back everybody. As said, we're going to go over this new nest and we're going to attempt to try to coerce this Camponotus colony into this new nest. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the camera down. I'm going to rotate it so you guys can get a good view of this nest. Now, as you can see, this nest actually looks very similar to my current fortress setup I have for the Camponotus colony, which is right here if you're not familiar with this. It's a stand-up nest. It's connected to the outworld back here. I've already gone over what we're going to go over with this queen right here. We're going to go over that later. But this is a fortress. This is not a fallen fortress. The fallen fortresses are like flat up against the nest. This is just a typical normal fortress right here. Now, as you can see, the fortress has 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the bottom main chamber. So it's got 4 top chambers in the bottom main chamber. I really like this design because it's really compact and you can kind of push it up on the outworld. Oh, excuse me, hit the camera. But what I didn't like about this design is very small. So this is good for a young colony that's small, got plenty of room to expand. Again, I learned the hard way, listen to everybody. Don't get a big nest off the bat. It really hurts the growth potential for your nests. So start small with a hearth, then move up to a fortress, then you can move up into a nucleus or something like this. Now, this nest is huge. So as you can see, they're packed over here in the discus. They're absolutely packed in this mini hearth XL. You know, you can see that they are to the brim and they're actually starting to sleep outside. Excuse for the glare, but because the nests are so overwhelmed, they don't have anywhere to go. So I got this for them. Now this is based on the fortress setup, and again I will kind of get both of these in frame so you can kind of get an idea. This particular nest I got Mac to make me, and you can send Mac a message on his Facebook group, or he's got contact information on his website, and you can ask for him to make you a custom nest. So this is technically a custom nest. I asked him to make a 5x5, so I think this is a 5x5, but it's a 5x5, and I think this is only maybe 2 to 2.5 inches deep. But why I asked for those dimensions is because if you remember, I reviewed this outworld back at Christmas time, 2022. This particular nest actually mates up perfectly on this one side to the outworld. So the whole idea was to get rid of all of these tubes and these satellite nests and make one main nest that can butt up against this, kind of like this, but on a bigger scale. So I took a piece of paper and I drew on the piece of paper, and what I can do is I can move this flat down and give you guys a top-down view of this particular nest. So what I did for him, and you kind of do this too, I took a piece of paper and I drew out with just a pencil what I kind of was looking for as far as chamber sizes and the amount of chambers. Now, on his particular fortresses, it's very linear. So you have the main nest at the bottom, comes right up the middle, splits into 2, comes up a little bit more, splits into 2. I just like stuff being a little bit different, and these nests being custom, I wanted my own little custom theme to this. So instead of having a straight tunnel up and then branching out 2, 2, 2, 2, I wanted something a little bit more different where, you know, you have a chamber here, you go up a little bit more chamber there, and then you come over here to the chamber. And then what I also liked is having like a top chamber that connected off of one of the other chambers. So you have the main tunnel that comes up here, and then there's a kind of a chamber up here, and then it comes back down and goes up. So I I just drew this on a piece of paper for him, and he mocked this up and made this particular for me. Now, they do, custom nests do take a little bit longer. These are not like his ready-to-ship page where you place the order, it's already done, it goes in a package, comes to your house. These, he has to make custom, so they take time. So be aware of that. Don't do what I did and need space for these colonies and then say, oh, they're getting full, I need to go ahead and order it. No, you need to be ahead of the game. Order these before these nests get overwhelmed. Now, that's not saying you have a queen in here with 5 workers and you're, oh man, I need to upgrade. No, don't do that. Let this nest fill up really nice. And then if you're starting to get to the point where you need to do a satellite nest, if you have one, do it. But if you don't, go ahead and preemptively order one of these so you don't get in a situation where I am, where there's too many ants in each nest and you are waiting on this. So what we're going to do and what we're going to attempt on video, now I am going to have sections where it's quiet and it's sped up because I'm going to have to, again, we've talked about this in other videos, where I'm going to have to concentrate on trying to get these ants inside of this nest without them pouring out. That's not the goal. I already had a little bit of a escapee problem earlier in the week. So I've already preemptively installed the nest mates. I've already put water in them. What we're going to have to do is disconnect the satellite nest, disconnect the mini Hearth XL, and then try to disconnect the main tube that comes from the outworld to the mini Hearth without too many escapees. Hopefully we get none. That's the goal here. No escapees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit you guys off to the side, kind of like this, and work. Now, as you can see, in this particular corner, I think the blue one's wearing off because they're finding a little path to get up. Now, not all of them get up, but I do find every now and then one ant up here. So I got to keep an eye on that while we do this, because once I take this glass off and stick them in there, they're going to pour out. They are not going to be happy because I've disturbed the nest. So step one is to get your work area prepped. That's the biggest thing here, is getting your work area prepped. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this particular nest off to the side because we don't need it right now. This mini Hearth, as we talked about in the last video, this is the giveaway. So again, a month from when this video was uploaded, I will be announcing the winner for this giveaway nest. We're just trying to make space here. That's all we're doing. And then I need some stoppers. These rubber stoppers that Max sends with his nests are very good for this particular use case. So I'm going to get a couple of these out because I'm going to need them. And the first thing I need to do is isolate each individual nest by itself. So the particular disc nest over here does not get a lot of activity back and forth. So I'm going to disconnect that first. But I'm going to move all these heat cables out of the way because we don't need them right now. And I don't want them getting in the way of anything. So I can actually take this off. It's not going to hurt them right now, but this is the Camponotus colony. And as you can see, I don't know if you can, but they actually got quite a bit going on down there. They're actually getting really, really big. So I'm going to get that out of the way. I am going to, so if you could see, they're actually moving pupae back and forth. So what I need to do is try to stop all of this movement from one to another pretty quickly. Let's see how I want to do this. I need cotton. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm going to get some cotton. Okay, I am back with some cotton. Now, what I'm going to do with this cotton is kind of plug up the tubes. That way we don't get too many, again, escapees. We do not want escapees. So I'm going to quickly, let me get this in frame so you guys can see what's going on here. I'm going to quickly disconnect this. Oh, no, I'm not. There's one running through. I'm going to let him get in. Maybe. Is he going to go in? Oh, he's scouting me out. He smells something different. All right, he's in. Oh, come on, guys. Don't do this to me. If you tap it, it kind of scares him a little bit. or it gets them intrigued. So we're gonna quickly disconnect this, put this on. All right, so now that satellite nest is isolated. What we're gonna do now is I've used the cotton to block this particular worker in there. I don't know if he's gonna go back in or not. He might. We'll see. Let's wait for him to go in. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna not give them time to pour out because we do not want them to pour out. We'll plug that side up. So now we have an empty tube, isolated nest, almost isolated nest. So it's going well so far, knock on wood. Wood hands. So what I can do with this discus, now I think the queen is in here. Last I checked, she was in here. Let's check. These tops are very sensitive, and I don't want to accidentally pull this off right now. So I'm gonna take this tape off and see if I can see her in there anywhere. She was in here earlier in the week, but she likes to bounce around from nest to nest, and I don't see her off the top. Now if you do see her, put in the comments, where do you see her at? So if you can see, they're really mad at the bottom. We're trying to get this plug out of the way, but I don't see her off the top of my head. So we're just gonna set them off to the side right now. We don't need this nest right yet. So that's off the side, get this tape off my fingers. Now what we gotta do is separate the main hearth from the outworld. So again, this is gonna be really tricky because I have, the tubing might have to stay for now, but I'm gonna have to plug one end very quickly. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have some escapees here. So we're gonna take the top off. Oh, I already got one on the top. Get back in there. And we're gonna get our trusty pointy stick that I talked about in every video to make sure these ants, so what's happening here is, and why they freak out, is they get this big burst of air and they all freak out because of the air pressure is different. These ants can actually sense that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna actually leave that on for now. That way I can devise a plan to plug this tube up without getting bit. You can see they're pouring through now, which is not what I wanted to happen. So what I need to do is try to figure out. So while I kind of figure this out, I'm going to put you guys in a kind of view mode while I work on this. And again, this might be fast forwarded a little bit, so just give me a few minutes. All right. So we have isolated the mini hearth. That's on pretty well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop this down just a little bit. As you can see, the mini hearth is isolated. And I'm going to introduce the new nest. Now, this tube is really, really long. What I'm going to end up doing is cutting this tube right here and shortening this. But for now, we're just going to do this right here. And we're going to try to work this in. Try is the key word here. Let's actually pause on that and get the other old tubing that we just had, because the tubing doesn't seem to fit very well. Let me see what's going on here. Alright, so it needs to go in at an angle. Okay. Make sure we got no workers. Kind of squeeze that in there, just like that. And we should see the actual tube come through from the bottom. All right, cool deal. So the tube is right here in the bottom. I know you can't see it. I'll use my little pointy stick. It's right here. I've connected this up. Now, we're gonna scoot all this back right here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the dark plate on, because we wanna encourage these ants to move into this nest. Now I'm gonna have to watch over this a little bit because, again, of this corner. they're hanging out and they found a way to get up in that corner. If I can get the dark plate back on, that'd be a great start, huh? Some of these dark plates are a little tight. I need to get with Mac about pre-fitting these. There we go. Okay, our dark plate's on. Nest is connected. I actually might wait. Rewind. We're taking this back off. Now, everything's set up for us to do the transfer. Now again, typically you would want to connect the new nest up and just wait for the old ants to move into the new nest, but because the way this is set up, these ants are not going to come out of this nest. This is home for them, this is what they want, and they're not going to move. Now, what I didn't tell you guys is I'm actually going to steal a couple more of their brood and use them in the new Pennsylvanicus Queen setup that we did last time, where the brood boosting went really, really well. We're going to do the same thing here to kind of spice them up some more. So, got my little cup, little pincers. I'm going to move you guys over here and show you about the chaos that's about to unfold. I do want to use 2 more plugs, and what we're going to do here is, and I'm going to show you, is we're going to plug the back of the mini hearth so the ants can't pour out of the tubing or crawl up the tubing. I don't want that. So I can show you really quick how that works in case you ever do want to know. I'll face the camera down. They're already in the nest, which is great. They're scouting it out. And I will show you guys a front shot of this in just a second. What we want to do is try to maneuver the ants off of this water. All you gotta do is scoot the water around really. Oof, do not want to knock that out. Scoot this around, pop it off, and put that right in there. And we're gonna do the same thing. You give it just a little back and forth to warn the ants that you're about to pull the water off. They should back off of it, and then you want to get your blocker set, and you don't want the ants to come pouring out. So now it's completely isolated, plugs on all sides. This particular plug wants to come out, and I do not want that to happen. And what we're going to do is we're going to slide the plate off after we get these ants off the top of this corner. So I know this is a really, really long video, but this is how this process kind of works. It's actually a long process. All right, so again, we want to clean the work area because we want as minimal issues as we need. And we're going to pop the top. These ants have gotten really smart about the top of this. Oh, so there's one more somewhere. Got him off. All right, one casualty. So we want to make sure these casualties are as minimal as possible. You do not want a bunch of casualties, but with a nest this big, it's a little understandable that, you know, you're going to have a lot going on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to gently place the nest inside of here. Gently is the key word there. And we do not want the ants to be able to get out. So I'm going to move all of this as I possibly can out. And the ants, yes, they're going to crawl all over it. Just, it's okay. Don't freak out. Keeping calm is the best way to do this time transfer because we are trying to stay calm so we can handle any kind of escapee problem that may occur. Now these are a lot of ants, and I should have took this food plate out first. Get off. Oh, we got one escapee, so 2 cotton balls, squish them up, throw them in there. Again, we're not squishing anybody. We don't want to squish. Squishing's bad. So get that out. Forceps are your best friend here. Come on. You guys don't want to play ball today. Alright, he's off. Alright, so now what we need to do is lift the glass. I should have done that first, but here we are. So hopefully they'll calm down a little bit. They're checking out the new nest. Seems like they like it a lot, so we're just gonna make sure that none of these escapees get out, which is happening already. We do not want escapees, guys and girls that watch the channel. So they're kind of scouting out the old mini hearth, and I probably should have quickly taken the glass off because now they're just covered and I can't put the top back on. So again, patience is key here. We're not in a rush. We're not trying to you know, do this as fast as possible. You're gonna have to go at the ants pace because again, you're on the ants time, to be honest with you. So a lot of this is gonna be fast forwarded. Until these ants calm down, I'm gonna fast forward this and you can kind of watch the process. I'll start talking when I come back to open the glass up. So hold on, and I know this is a long video, so we'll make through it. So I'll be right back. All right, so we have successfully taken off the side. Now we are managing the few escapees that we have. Trying to anyway. Now there are going to be a lot pouring out right now, so just be aware of that. I got the glass off. That's all we wanted to do. So now we just kind of wait, and hopefully they all move out. Now, as you can see, the majors are coming out. They're trying to figure out what's going on. We're going to use our stick for damage control because they are all going to come out. As they're doing this, is a great opportunity to kind of snag a couple brood if you can. And again, you want to be very gentle. We are not hurting the brood. We do not want to hurt the brood. They're going to be very defensive over their pupae, so just be aware of that. You kind of want to snag one if you can without getting bit. And again, you want to be very, very easy here because we want these to help the queen out, or our other queen. So again, if you get a couple of escapees, don't freak out. Staying calm here is the key. I say that as I freak out just a little bit. And you kind of want to. Oh, we got one more escapee here. Get back in there. It seems to be this particular side they're climbing up quite easily, so I might have to reapply some Fluon on that side. Come on, get down. And it looks like they're evacuating, or they're trying to. That's the whole key here, is that we want them to evacuate. And we want them to call the new nest home if possible. So again, we're going to try to steal some brood here. Alright, so we got a couple brood there. I got 3. I think I'd like 4. Maybe a almost emerged would be nice. Oops, we've got another escapee, of course. Now again, you can do this in a much smoother manner by just connecting the nest up and hopefully they'll move in, but I'm very impatient. We're not hurting anybody. That's the key here. You don't want to hurt anybody. We are just snagging a few here and there that we can get. Okay, we got 4. That's all I want. We're going to set those off to the side, and we're going to make sure these escapees stop coming out. So, the easiest way to do this would be a good dump, but they're kind of all over the place now, so. Alright guys, so, well, cutting back here, the queen is right there. I don't know if you can see her or not. She's right there. The workers are trying to tell her to come into the new nest, which is good. This is what we want. They keep dragging the wrong poor ants. She's right here in the front. I don't know if you can see her. Yep, right there, right in the middle of the frame. Right, where's my finger at? Ooh, too much. right there. And she's hiding, but they're trying to get her to go inside of the nest. So we just got to keep an eye on her. I'll do little cuts. Focus is terrible right now, so try not to make anybody sick. But you see her down the bottom, well, left of the frame. They're going to pull her in there in just a second, but they're busy pulling all the brood into the nest, out of the old nest. See her nudging them. But she's right there. She'll go in just a second. I'm trying to get it in shot for you guys. And I pulled back the tube just a little bit. But they definitely want her to go inside. So she's where she needs to be. And I will cut back to you when she does. She is moving around. So I'll cut back when she moves in. So they are right now asking her to come. They want to be very still and very quiet. See them all trying to get her to come. And there she goes. She is going in the nest. Alright, mission accomplished, boys. Now I know you can't see it, but maybe we can get her in the bottom. Yep, that's her in the bottom left, walking in now, checking out the nest. So they have designated this now as a nest area. So there will be quite a bit of cutting. Excuse me, I'm a little sick this week, but will be a lot of cutting and editing here. I just wanted to show you guys how this works. This video was like 30-40 minutes originally, but I'm going to cut it into pieces so you guys don't have to wait around. The only thing left we have to do is this nest, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to record it, commentate over it, so this video is not too long. So I'll check you when we move this colony, or the same colony, but this part of the nest in here. Alright guys, Future S&E Ants here. So this particular part of the video I didn't actually do any audio on. I was kind of focused on trying to just get everything buttoned up and finished up. I don't know if you could tell, and I'm extremely sorry about how long this video is, but these processes take a very long time to set up and to execute. And I kind of wanted to capture that you know, moving an ant nest or an ant colony is not always quick and easy, as a lot of YouTubers will show. They'll do a lot of cuts and stuff, and I did cut this video up quite a bit to save the time, but a majority of the entire process is what you've watched. So what you've seen is exactly how everything played out. The only thing in this back half of the video, if you remember the satellite nest that I used as the discus as a satellite nest, all I've done in the steps between the last clip to this clip is I have taken the top off and I have set the discus inside of the nest. This is for two reasons. One, the mini hearth, when I put it into the nest, obviously is too tall for me to close the top on. So my goal here was to put the mini hearth in, get everyone moved out of the mini hearth first, and then the discus I can literally sit into the nest and pop the top off and then let the ants move themselves. Because the queen is already in the main nest at this point, and the ants have already established that as the main nesting area, they will by themselves now move everything from this discus into the new nest. All you have to do is wait. So there is a little bit of a blend here where I said in the beginning where typically you can just hook up a new nest and they'll migrate into it. But in my particular scenario, they have already established that. So I needed to make sure that they move that new nesting area into the main brand new nest from Tar Heel ants, and then I can remove the discus, put it in there, and they'll move everything by themselves. So just to be clear here, this particular segment of the video is at 2x speed, so I don't want you to think this is how fast the ants move or this is what's going on. This is at 2x speed. So, but as you can tell, they did end up using this discus quite a lot, and there's a ton of brood and pupae and larvae, and in the bottom left of the discus, if you can kind of look a little bit, you may not be able to see it, but they actually designated this nest as the where they put all the eggs. I think because of the humidity was a lot higher in this nest than it was in the mini hearth. So all I've done at this point, again, put the discus in, and I kind of just wanted to show that process really quick. I didn't want to, like, this video is already long enough. So if you've made it this far, comment down below tell me what you liked about this process. Tell me what you didn't like about this process and maybe what I can improve on. But I kind of executed this as best as I possibly could think of. So again, if you made it this far, toss a comment down there. Let me know that you made it this far, because if you have, man, I appreciate you so much. You have no idea that you've actually watched this entire video and stayed this long. So all I'm going to do to wrap this up is I left this discus in here for a few days. They ended up all moving out of it, and I had a few leftover just ants hanging out in there. I took the discus out, brushed them out into the nest, separated them, and took it out and cleaned it. And now it's just going to be used as an emergency nest if I need to. So I hope you enjoyed everything you've watched today. I hope you stuck around to watch this entire process, and hopefully you've learned something. That was my goal here, is to teach and learn, teach you, and hopefully you've learned something that way. You know, with your own particular colony, you have an idea what you could be doing if you get a nest this big, and you know, and just this entire process has been crazy. You know, from if you go back last year where this colony started with 6 workers and coming out, what you're looking at, it's absolutely unbelievable. But I digress. So again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed everything, and I will catch you in the next video. See you guys later. Have a great day. Hey, S&E Ants here. If you enjoyed this video, check out this recent upload of this recommended video. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button in the middle of the screen. And if you liked what you just watched, hit the like button. It really helps the channel out. If you have any other suggestions or ideas, comment down below. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.